It was 6:30 a.m., and there were two buses parked in front of Deborah Reed Middle School. A big, shiny Oxano company coach with individual padded chairs, built-in television screens, and electrical outlets in every row. And parked right in front of it, the Farm Kids minibus, which was short, yellow, and old, with duct tape patched benches and windows that could only open 3 inches.
"We have to get on the company bus,"
Jay Carpenter said to Nick Gross.
"And we have to make sure that we're sitting near the front so we can control the DVD player."
His eyes were shining with anticipation.
"I brought DVDs."
Nick was tired and cold, and it was too early in the morning to deal with his best friend's delusions. Like they're going to let you play your DVDs. No one is going to want to watch a movie. They're all going to be doing test prep stuff. Nick was nervous about the upcoming statewide exam. It was a big one. Not that Jay cared. He had always been a good tester, whatever that meant.
"Oh, ye of little faith!"
Jay exclaimed, entirely too loud for the hour and setting. Jay might have been better at academics, but Nick was sure that he was smarter because he'd never exclaimed, "Oh, ye of little faith," in a high-pitched voice in front of, well, anyone, but certainly not in front of members of the opposite sex who were milling around in their own pre-field trip cliques. Not that any of them would ever notice Nick.
"Are you ready?"
"I'm awake, mostly." But still, it was better not to start the day off on a deficit by acting like a huge, socially awkward nerd. Nick watched as Paul Yoder and Sam Stoltzfus and the rest of the Farm Kids edged farther away from the little yellow bus that traveled 40 minutes each way to take them to and from school every day. He couldn't blame them for not wanting to spend another 4 hours on it.
"It's not like I brought my DVDs of classic Doctor Who episodes," Jay continued. "I know my audience."
"Fine, I'll bite. What did you bring?" Jay opened his enormous backpack and began rooting through it. It was kind of hard to tell if he had the world's biggest backpack or if it just seemed big because Jay was so scrawny. It was sort of amazing that he could even lift the thing. "What do you have in there?" Nick asked.
"Only necessities, my good man,"
Jay said. Nick shuddered inwardly. He'd always hated Jay's tendency to talk like he was a character in a movie where guys wore top hats and women wore corsets. But he'd given up trying to change Jay's speech patterns and had instead been trying, unsuccessfully, to get him to lower his volume instead. It was an uphill battle. Jay pulled a DVD case out of his backpack.
"Evil Dead 2!"
he exclaimed triumphantly. "There's no way Miss Zell is going to let you watch Evil Dead 2, Nick said.
"Why ever not?"
Jay was indignant.
"It's a great movie, and Miss Zell is a woman of singular taste and beauty."
Nick blushed. Thinking about the science teacher always made him blush.
"I agree, but—" "There is no but. It is a brilliantly subversive piece of cinema that was created to intentionally mock itself. It's both a sequel and a remake. Who wouldn't love that?"
Jay's voice was getting higher and louder. "It's a horror movie from the 1980s. No one wants to watch that at 7 in the morning. People are going to be either sleeping or studying."
"Studying schmuddying," Jay said. "Did you know that the Hammer believes that mandatory exams are actually a secret government plot to identify suitable subjects for biological technical enhancements at a young age?"
"I did not know that, because it's crazy." Jay was always quoting his favorite local conspiracy theorist blogger.
"Don't worry, I think you're safe,"
Jay said, diving once more into his backpack. Nick wrinkled his brow, slightly insulted. "Wait, are you saying the government wouldn't want to do experiments on me?" Jay ignored him.
"I have more DVDs. Everyone appreciates options, even those who may not have acquired a taste for the high art of camp horror."
Nick shook his head and looked at the line that had formed at the door of the Oxano bus. Nick knew that even if he and Jay could somehow push their way to the front of the line, they still wouldn't be getting on. Every middle school had an unwritten code, and it was pretty clear about who got to ride on the good bus and who had to ride with a rusty spring poking him in the butt.